Indians, Feather, not Dot, live in the crudest part of this godforsaken country, then that would be a terrible way to try to convince you to see things from my point of view. But that's exactly how I started. Because today I'm going to be talking about political correctness and its effects on our society and our freedoms of speech. So, I've put a lot of thought and research into it, and I hope I can shed some more light on the subject. I'm going to talk about the problem, I'm going to talk about the fears, the fear that caused it, and the fear that came out of it. And finally, I'm going to present a solution. Words. Words have power. Jacqueline Key says this in her article, Political Correction by the Sunday Mail. She continues on to say that they shape our reality. When we use a term, it reflects how we perceive the matter. Perception. We all perceive things. I perceive the words I'm going to say, and you perceive the words you hear. And that perception is different. I choose words because of the meanings I think they hold. And those meanings are based on my experiences, my perceptions. You interpret my words based on what you think words mean, based on your experiences. And we're different. We're different people. We have different experiences. So there's this line between us, this line of perception, this line of miscommunication, because we perceive the world differently. And that's where political correctness comes in, because thedictionary.com says that political correctness means the avoidance of perceived insults. Not real insults, not intended insults, but perceived insults. It's the tiptoeing around the line. It's trying not to offend anyone based on your words, trying not to say what will offend you. Does that make sense? I think it does. And I think it has a real cause. And that cause is fear. It came from the 1990s hate speech movement. Okay, I think I'm the only person on the planet who calls it the hate speech movement. And it's not that hate speech was more rampant in the 1990s. It's that in the 1990s, hate speech had this big debate. The debate was if it was protected by the First Amendment on college campuses. And it turned out it was. So, as society, we did what society does. We rebounded from it. We decided that since hate was going to be something legal, that was going to be allowed to be spoken everywhere, even on campus, we needed to do something about it. We needed to fight that hate by creating safe spaces, by using certain terms, instead of using the other words. Instead of using your original word choice, you would change it to tiptoe around the line of perception. And as that sort of dealt with fear, it caused a new problem. Because we as society created an unwritten law. That law comes with consequences. It comes with real punishment. It comes with more fear. The fear of being incorrect. The fear of saying something wrong and being told you're invalid because of it. Greg Lukianoff, in his book, Unlearning Liberty, College Censorship, and the End of the American Debate, he talks about how when students connect hate speech to different opinions, they can write those opinions off as invalid. And that leads to people targeting opinions they dislike or opinions they disagree with. And that's the real problem of political correctness. It's the problem that if I'm going to say something in front of you, then I need to change my words first to make sure you're going to listen to me. And if I'm not going to change my words, then there was no point in me saying them anyways, because you're not going to listen to me. But how do we fix that? How do we fix fear driven into more fear? How do we fix our society? Well, the Southern Poverty Law Center says that the best way to fight hate is to point towards unity. But they're wrong. The best way to fight hate isn't to point towards unity and say, yeah, we're unified together. The best way to fight hate is is to listen to one another. It's to hear out the other side when you hear something you disagree with, when you get insulted. Because when I listen to you, you're going to listen to me. And when I actually listen to you, I'm going to hear what you mean, not the words that you said, not the perceptions that I hear, and I'm going to step over that line of miscommunication, that line of interpretation. And I'm going to hear your argument for what it really is. And we fight hate that way. We fight hate by hearing each other out. So, today, as you continue through your day, you're going to walk through that door. And I want you to remember that we have a problem. I want you to remember that we have fear. And there are two sides to that fear. And finally, I want you to remember to listen. And while you're listening, when you see billboards, when you hear conversations, when you're on social media and you're typing in really fast a response to something weird you just heard or saw, I want you to ask yourself, for whose benefit are you listening? For whose benefit are you interpreting things the right way? Well, listening is for your benefit, and it's for my benefit, and it's for our benefit. Listening to each other is for our society's benefit. So we need to